Do you think I still deserve happiness? That's what she asked him. A blind date, a cafe, two broken people who almost never met because she tried to run the moment he saw what she'd been hiding. Prosthetic arms, both of them. A manufacturing accident that stole everything. Her arms, her fiancé, her belief that anyone could ever love her again. But he didn't let her run. Before we continue, please tell us where in the world are you tuning in from. We love seeing how far our stories travel. The Copper Leaf Cafe smelled like roasted coffee beans and cinnamon. Warren Flincher sat by the window, his coffee growing cold in front of him, his heart hammering against his ribs like it was trying to escape. 2 o'clock, she'd said 2 o'clock. His phone buzzed. His sister Paige. You better not have bailed. He hadn't bailed, but every cell in his body screamed at him to leave before he had to sit across from someone and pretend he was whole enough to offer anything to anyone. Then he saw her. She walked slowly down the sidewalk, each step deliberate, measured, blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail, and the prosthetic arms, both of them, mechanical components visible from shoulder down, ending in hook-like attachments that glinted in the afternoon sun. Warren's breath caught, not from shock, from recognition. She looked exactly like her photos, except the photos hadn't shown the prosthetics clearly. She'd been sitting, arms positioned carefully. She'd been hiding. Kelly reached the cafe door and pushed it open with her shoulder. Their eyes met across the room. Warren raised his hand in a small wave, offering an encouraging smile. Then everything changed. Fear flickered across Kelly's face. Not nervousness, pure visceral fear, followed immediately by shame so thick Warren could feel it from across the room. She took a step backward toward the door. Warren was on his feet before he could think, crossing the cafe in 4 long strides. Wait, he said softly, reaching her just as her shoulder touched the door. Please don't go. Kelly's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry, she whispered, her voice breaking. This was a mistake. I thought maybe her breath hitched. I thought maybe I could do this, but I can't. Look at me. How could someone like you possibly want? Then help me understand, Warren interrupted gently. Please, we don't have to sit here if you're uncomfortable. But please don't leave without giving us a chance to talk. A tear rolled down Kelly's cheek. She turned her face, trying to wipe it against her shoulder, but couldn't quite reach. The gesture was clumsy, awkward, and she made a small, frustrated sound in her throat. I can't even wipe away my own tears. I can't. Warren felt something crack open in his chest. Without thinking, he gently reached out and wiped the tear from her cheek with his thumb. May I? He asked softly, though he had already done it. Kelly's breath caught. Fresh tears came, streaming down both cheeks. Now you see, I can't do the simplest things. I can't. Hey, Warren said, his voice barely above a whisper. Can I tell you something? I almost didn't come today either. I spent this morning convinced I had nothing to offer anyone. My daughter, she's 7, had to give me a pep talk over breakfast because I was spiraling. Despite her tears, Kelly's lips twitched slightly. Your daughter sounds wonderful. She's everything, Warren said. He glanced around the cafe. A few people were watching now, curious and not particularly subtle about it. Listen, there's a beach about 10 minutes from here, Hidden Creek Beach. It's usually quiet this time of day. We could walk, talk, and if you want to leave at any point at all, no questions asked. What do you say? Kelly stared at him, searching his face for something. Pity, maybe. The polite lie people told when they wanted to escape but didn't know how. She didn't find it. Okay, she said finally, her voice small. The beach. Hidden Creek Beach was small and secluded, bracketed by smooth rocks worn down by years of waves. The water rolled in gently, rhythmic, and constant, and the late afternoon sun cast everything in gold. They walked in silence at first. Warren kept his pace slow, matching Kelly's careful steps. The sand was soft here, harder to walk through, and he noticed how she had to concentrate on her footing. I lost them in a manufacturing accident 4 years ago, textile plant in Ohio, machine malfunction, both arms, just above the elbow. By the time they got me out, she trailed off, staring at the water. By the time they got me out, there was nothing left to save. Warren stayed quiet. Every instinct screamed at him to say something comforting, something to fill the silence, but he knew better. She needed to speak. He needed to listen. The prosthetics help with some things. She lifted one of the mechanical arms slightly. I can use them to push doors open, carry bags if they have handles I can hook, stabilize items against my body, but I can't. Her voice cracked. I can't pick things up. Can't button my own clothes. Can't tie my shoes. Can't cook a meal without knocking half of it onto the floor. Can't hold a phone. Can't hug anyone back. She stopped walking and turned to face him, and Warren saw raw pain in her eyes. My fiancé left 6 months after the accident. We'd been together for 3 years, engaged for 8 months. He said he'd fallen in love with someone who could hold him, someone who could do normal things, someone who didn't need help with everything. Her voice dropped to barely a whisper. Someone whole. Warren felt anger rise in his throat, hot and immediate, but he pushed it down. I moved to Ashland 8 months ago to start over, Kelly said. I work remotely as a data analyst, Voicito software, adaptive technology, special interfaces, but even that has limitations. I have a home care aide named Patricia who comes 3 times a week to help